Hello, I'm Samuli Knuuti, editor for Finnish fiction for the publisher VSOY, and this is Finnish author Miki Liukkonen. We are just finishing putting to the press his third novel, Master of Silence. How does it differ from your first two novels, like Lapset auringon alla, which came out 6 years ago, and O, which came out 2 years ago?
Well, most of all, I think it's the best writing I have done so far. It's the sentences are more completed and I think a little bit more poetic, and the book in whole is just more in structured, more concrete. So it's like a complete package more than O or Children Under the Sun. I feel like that.
The title Master of Silence, it's very Zen. Does it have anything to do with Eastern philosophy or meditation or things?
No, it really it means refers to death, and also there's really much noise in silence. So there's a paradox in the title also. So if you are in complete silent situation or something like that, then your inner voice will start to ramble, and it can be quite chaotic, especially nowadays. So it's a paradoxical name, and it doesn't have anything to do with Eastern philosophy or Zen or something like that.
There's a couple of suspicious deaths in your novel, even a murder. Is this sort of like your take on the detective novel?
Yeah, you can say that. I just wanted to write a book where there's as little as possible movement, so the characters are basically staying still all the time, but it's also murder mystery. So I like the idea of stillness with this mystery, and so it's like a detective novel in a coma.
Your books are always full of very lively details, and in this book, for instance, there are many things that have something to do with the subway, the fast food chain. How did that come to be like one of the central tropes of your?
Well, I just happened to live across the subway, so I just looked at it from my window all the day, and just suddenly sunk in my mind, and I started to put things about subway in my book, and found that the routine of subway working, I interviewed the subway workers, by the way, is something I was interested, because it's so boring and monotonous, and something like that. So there's a people who try to find like enlightenment from their lives, and they seek it from subway and subway camps.
Your last novel, O, the central theme in that was neuroses and phobias and things like that. And you already mentioned that in your new novel, The Master of Silence, the overriding theme is loneliness. What do you think? Are we doomed to be lonely, we who live in this age in a Western society?
Yeah, I really believe that loneliness is one of the major issues in modern era, which is paradoxical, because we live in an age where social media is really important, and people can connect all over the world, and the world is become more smaller and more interactive, but at the same time we are staying in our homes, just looking at our screens and communicating with people. So there's no real authentic human communication really happening. So I think that's one of the things that interests me and bothers me and depresses me also. So I wanted to write something about that, and it's not a new thing. I mean, there's been studies also that people are more lonely nowadays than ever. So I just wanted to write about my experience and like my style to bring that subject.
The new novel, as all your work, it's very full of contrasts. There are parts which are like laugh out loud funny, and then parts which are very dark. Like the book, in the book there is a very long suicide note.
Yeah.
For an instance, do you think that suicide notes are like an overlooked genre? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think the suicide note thing was just a major thing with the book because I want to really point out the massive effects or the dramatical effects of extreme loneliness and what it can cause and where it can take people. So I think the suicide note was an important part of the book.
Okay, thank you for listening.